Learn more about your destiny at Idan World Academy on Patreon. Shop with us on Etsy at Iadudu Botanica. So once again, I'm Latona Ifabileke OJ Bimi, Prince of Oshogbo. This week, Ifa tells us that we should continue about our work. Right? Ifa tells us that we must be patient and diligent in our task, right, to bring prosperity, that we must continue to persevere so that we will have longevity. IJ echoes that statement, right? It echoes that assertion from E5 by saying that continue, don't be in a rush for success. That the steps that you make, the steps that you take now are a part of a bigger plan. Moving with patience, moving with honesty, integrity, being committed, right? These things will help us to achieve our blessings. Right? We know those things, right? But how does Ifa help us to see what's going on? What example does Ifa give us when it comes to implementing these things that Ifa tells us, these directives? The Odu that was revealed was Otura G'asa, Otura on the right and Osa on the left. Ifa ni Otura G'asa gansasa. Ifa's message to Alantakun, the spider, who would be achieving all things in a miraculous way. She was advised to offer a bow. She complied. We cannot see the secret of the ocean, and we cannot see the secret of the lagoon. We cannot see the root of Omonigelegele. We cannot understand the secret of the spider, where she is spinning her 200 clothes. Ashe, like, Baba, what do that got to do with anything? What does the spider have to do with our blessing and our work? Who's seen the spider make the web? Who's seen the diligence, the expertise, the meticulous work, right? The back and forth nature of the spider when constructing the web. We know what the web feel like because we walk into them. We can see what the spider web looks like. We know what it feels like, but we're absent in the construction of it. This E5 tells us that we must continue about our work, right? That the things we do, nobody may see, right? They're only concerned with the benefit. They're only concerned with the benefit. So, and rightly so, right? Rightly so. Let your blessings, let your accomplishments speak for themselves. It's okay. Olodumare E5, your Orisha, your Rumile, your ancestors are witnessing your work. They're supporting your efforts. So, you know, we can't see the depths of the ocean, right? We don't know the depths of the lagoon. You know, the deeper we get in the ocean, the darker get the absence of light. Sometimes it's not clear of the work that you do on yourself. Sometimes it's not visible the sacrifices that you make. So, as Ifa tells us, right, this situation, right, be like the spider. Be about your work. Let your accomplishments speak for themselves, right? When we know that the spider will trap the fly or trap the other insect, and it will wrap it up. It will make sure that its blessing does not escape. What are we doing to secure our blessings? What work are we putting in to achieve our goals? Why are we, trying to accomplish certain things? Are we doing it for us? Or are we doing it for others? What are our motives, right? So we know that the spider must construct the web in order to eat. It must produce something. It must build something, even if it has to do it alone. If I ask us to continue about our work, to be patient and diligent in that process, right? Because we will have our blessing. So if I says that with patience and perseverance, right, we put away loss, that we should have longevity. With continued patience, right, we should have prosperity. Be patient in the process. Be patient with the things that you're building. Be doing it for the right reasons. Ashe, Ianifa, where you at? I think she got me on pause. Oh, there you go. Aburo boy Boshishe. Are you there?
Ato,
Oh, there you
Sui
go.
Wori Wapun Baba.
How are you?
Finding yourself. I was trying to mute myself because my air conditioner is loud. So I didn't want to interfere with what was going on with you.
Oh, okay. How are you?
I'm doing very well. My grandma would say fair to middling.
Probably
How
like,
is everyone? How is everyone? Peace to everyone.
oh yes, Aburo boy Boshishe to everyone. So you over there working like the spider?
I am working like the spider. I got these long fingernails and I'm ticking away on this computer, but it's slowing me down. But yeah, I am being diligent about work and the for the purpose of reward. I'm not doing anything for free. I'm setting out my parameters, my feelers, my web now so that I can catch my blessings.
Ashe.
I say.
Because sometimes, right? Because your work may not be acknowledged, or the sacrifices that you make in the midst of that, or constructing the thing, may not be acknowledged. You know,
I say.
but
Hmm.
you get to see that finished product. You know, okay.
Yeah.
So Asuri Iwori Wofun Ifa Tomiwa. So, um, we want to see your finished product.
Well, I'm working on it. I'm almost finished.
Well, it's anything,
Yes, true.
anything.
True.
So
Well, I tell you what, a web is indicative to a spider. So if you run into a web, you know a spider is somewhere. So it's evidence of your work. Like we said, it says that that we are not just aware, but in space. We're taking space. We're apparent, and so I want my works to be apparent. You know,
I
I
say,
want I want to leave, a web leaves evidence of inheritance and legacy. It tells a story. So I'm trying to cast my web not just to catch blessings, but to tell a story.
okay.
Yeah.
I say,
That's right.
you know, the construction of the web, right? So I get it. The things, the works that you do in the construction of legacy, the web will be legacy. So it's the legacy that will help attract the blessings, or that will help call in those blessings. You know, trap for lack of a better phrase, but you're able to. It makes your blessings evident. Even slows them down, really. The fly flies through the web and it
Mm,
stopped.
yeah.
You know, so that, oh, okay, the spider like, oh, here go my blessing. Let me go on and eat a little something real quick. Let me wrap this thing up.
Well, I guess in that respect, Baba, it's like the web is a blessing to the spider, but it's a curse or it is a hindrance to the thing that gets caught in it.
Yeah, you don't want to be the fly.
I don't want to be the fly.
So the thing that I share with the spider is that everybody can enjoy the web. or everybody can experience the web, right? So depending on where the web is, right? So some of those spiders we was talking earlier, some of those spiders are closer to the ground, right? Some are higher up and stuff like that. The corners of the house, the corners of the room, right? You might see a granddaddy long leg somewhere. But if you think about it, every living organism and gets to enjoy the web. So whether it's us and we walk through it or we remove it, it's still that we have to give attention to the work that the spider has done, which is crazy to think about. So whether it's the fly or the insect that's caught in the web, or the human who has to clean the web, right, because it collects dust or whatever, right, we all get to experience the web of the spider. And so this gives us some kind of inclination or idea about the ashe of the spider and why Ifa is using it here as this example. So may everybody enjoy your legacy, your works, your character. Oh, you done muted yourself.
Yeah, I muted myself. I told you my air conditioner is on. It sounds like a mighty rushing wind in here, so I just didn't want to be too loud.
I know you have a cold in there.
That's all. That's all. So
I come to your house.
I can't hear you now, Baba. What you say?
When I come to your house.
You're low now. Maybe it's just me. Nope.
Can you hear me now? So anybody got any questions?
I can hear you now.
I don't know. I don't know.
When you lean back, I can't hear you as well.
So it must be. What about now?
Nope.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
So I don't know. Maybe my mic not working.
It might have died.
It's on.
Oh.
Let's try the other one. Can you hear me now?
Yanifa Tomiwa said she has no questions.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Agbo Otto Andy.
I don't know what's up with
He
you.
said Benny.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe these things have a distance on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But both of them on, so we're gonna see. Hopefully. So if I says patience, right? If I says patience, and that we have long life and abundance. All right. So IJ said the same thing. But we should remember, right? Think about, visualize those things that we want to bring into existence. So even like the spider, right? The spider traps its blessing, right? But we know what the ultimate goal is for the spider. One, to eat, and to two, have babies. So the task of the spider is to create something, bring something to life.
So you're saying the spider is kind of symbolic of the creator in a way? Is that what you're saying? Well,
That's not what I was
or
saying.
creation, huh?
That's a good thought, though.
Yeah. Well, is it like because of the building of structure, the keeping of shelter, all of the action, which could be technically the ashe, maybe the ability to create from what is unseen. So the web, I guess, comes out of his belly from the unseen into the seen.
Yes and no. I understand what you're saying, but I don't feel like the sentiment in this Odu.
Okay, that's fine. I was just trying to
No.
understand. Mm-hmm.
So,
Keep going.
it is more or less death and rebirth.
Ah, okay.
Because the spider doesn't kill to be killing, right? It doesn't trap those insects or it trap its prey for the sake of killing, right? The ultimate goal of the spider is to have the energy to produce children. And so, kind of like the cycle of life, right? So the vulture has to have its um, its own task. Yeah, it's not the spider, but these even though the vulture doesn't kill, right? We can see just the type of thing, right? The spider kills, the vulture doesn't. The vulture clears away certain things, right? So it still has its role to play in death and rebirth in that cycle. So in this instance, it's the spider that kind of like does its work that even when the work is completed, nobody can really see it. Right? We can see the work of the vulture, how it clears away certain things, right? But with the spider, right, it not only clears away, but it produces. And something that we can see because, there'll be a sac somewhere close to the web that the spider has given birth to other spiders or the eggs or whatever. So we can see with that cycle, it's really it's quickly it happens quickly. It's escalated, right? The cycle is escalated in this way, but we can replicate that with ourselves, right? The things that we do, the things that we work towards, right? This transformative nature of the spider, how it will take one thing and transform it into another. Its children. It'll take energy from one place and manifest it, use it to manifest certain things in a miraculous way. These other birds, other flying things, bats and stuff like that, they go through that cycle, but it's not as quick. And so if we look at the size of the spider, they don't get to be too big versus the size of some of these other animals and things like that. We can see by the size of it, its cycle is escalated. It's sped up,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so, but the main point is so Omonigelegele is the sponge, the natural sponge. This is Omonigelegele. I got it all over me now. So
That's a sponge?
natural sponge. This is what it's talking about in the Odu file, right? So we take the spiritual bath, we put the black soap on there, and we'll take the bath with it. So you can't see the roots of it because when it grows above the ground and it looks like a root itself. But that's not the part that we concern with. We're concerned with the part that grows above the ground. So like pine straw and other things like that, it may coat the ground. But it's saying that it is what the things that have not been seen produce, if that makes sense. The roots of the Omonigelegele, the natural sponge, is what is required, what helps the sponge to grow, the part above the ground. So sometimes we never concern about the roots, the thing that's unseen, the foundation, the thing that gave its ability to grow and be stable. What we're concerned about is the fruits. And so,
Okay.
this week, if I ask us to be mindful, right, to focus on the parts of us, the things we do that's unseen, and not to worry about it, not to be concerned whether we receive recognition behind those things. It is the fruits, right, the Omonigelegele that's useful to everyone. So it's not the things, like I said, that's unseen. It's those things that
Are seen. So it's like just using the spider web again as an example. Or so are you saying it's similar to how a spider web is unseen? That's why we walk into it.
Yes. So that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Even those who can't be caught in the web get to enjoy it, and so
Okay.
enjoy is kind of a nice way of saying experience. We all get to experience the spider web, whether we're just seeing it or we walk through it. Yes.
Yeah. So the spider web is kind of it's like I see it as a connection of things. It's the connector to things. As I look at the characteristics and nature of a spider, I guess you said the ashe of a spider, but how it casts its web it from one branch or one leaf to another and then support itself. It's sending out its power, its energy to suspend itself,
Good
to
point.
gain that kind of thing. So I think in that's where the alignment comes into being, the
Yeah,
awareness
balance,
of self, balance. Okay, yeah, all right, I got it.
right?
I know because when an animal or when an insect gets in that web, it vibrates the whole web, and that's how the spider knows that there is a blessing there. So
Ashe.
okay.
So, um, that's a very interesting point, right? Because the web is constructed in balance and harmony. So whether it's on the corner of the house or in the room or in the window or outside in the yard, right? In the bush, right?
Hmm.
The spider constructs the web for balance in the beginning. So it's already like looking for, are the things that I'm doing in balance, right? Well, those things that I'm doing be able to support me, support my young, support my blessing,
Hmm.
right? This is things that's inherent in the spider, right? That we can kind of like take from what the spider does, right? Because it'll hang there through the elements, the wind, the rain, the snow, right? Dust, even other animals. So when the spider constructs the web, the spider is using strength and flexibility, right? Is using these different attributes in order to construct the right size web.
Hmm.
Right? Think about the distance that the spider has to move sometimes, right? From one
Yeah.
place to another.
Yeah.
Right? Does it have to jump? Does it have to take the long route?
I think it also embodies patience and waiting for insects to fly into it would then embody persistence, and the ability to cast its web from one place to another is connected to or symbolic of its precision. Is it?
Benny,
Yeah. Okay.
Benny. Like
You have a question. Someone in the Andy asked a question there. I don't know if Andy is still on the live.
I don't see it. He like it. Oh, he said, Oluo, may you speak on Ogbe, I think it's Ogbe Lara that he said. So, and if you still there, give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know you still there. Ogbe Lara is one of my favorites.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey,
Veve,
baby. Don't
Veve makes
stop in the club. Hey, baby.
cloth. Veve makes cloth. She embroiders cloth with different symbols on it. Like she did one, a Luau one for me. She can make Orisha cloths that have their symbols or names and things on it.
Okay.
They're really nice. They're really nice.
I'm gonna need a free sample.
Uh,
So the guy asked about Oak Bell Lara, and I think he gone.
oh, okay.
But that was one of my favorite ODs. That's my OD for Oxum. Um,
So, so could you say then that the Ashe, because you mentioned Ashe of the spider, so that's where I'm kind of stuck on or sticking to, that the Ashe of the spider also is is uh,
okay,
is
so
a lesson in trust.
Ifafumi K. Yeah, from the spider.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe. Is that a
yeah.
long shot?
Well, the spider has a trust itself.
Okay.
So I was sitting here thinking, right, because I worked in wind and solar and stuff like that, and so I know that they would scout the areas for at least 5 years out, right, to see if what was the what could be the energetic return from putting a windmill here or putting it there, how far did they need to be spaced, or a solar farm or whatever. They would scout the area. So I'm sitting here thinking, does a spider scout the area, right, or does it kind of know?
Hmm.
You
I
understand
don't
what
know.
I'm saying? Is a spider sitting back like, I think I'll put it there. Or are these things kind of like inherent, or like are these things like a part of the spider's makeup? How does the spider these things? Right?
Hmm.
But the balance, the perseverance, the patience, like you said, the discipline, right? Its realistic view of itself.
Mm. You see what Veve said? Agbo Ato Priscilla. You see what Veve said? One, that she'll send you a sample. You can't forget that part.
I seen that.
Oh, okay. And then and then others that it's a kind of a work smart, not hard lesson. You have to put your web in the right spot.
Yes, and it's anchored.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. You don't want something that's easy to knock down or remove.
I used to on purpose when the spiders built a web, I would see it, and I would hit the spider in the middle of the web on purpose. Pow! But I stopped doing that. I don't do it anymore.
But think about how this benefits the ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all these things, right? That the spider does, that as small as it is, that we kind of like take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
How we can use those things in our own life, right? Don't put
Mm-hmm.
it where it don't belong, right? The spider is putting the place in the web for longevity, right? It has an ultimate goal. It has an ultimate goal, where it's placed. Make sure y'all hitting them hearts. Give me them likes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. So, you know, let us be like the spider.
Yeah. I know it. I know what you were saying it's rest in its place in confidence, knowing that the web will attract what it is that is meant to attract. That it will soon come. So I guess that's the trusted factor that I mentioned earlier. I guess that's kind of what it is. But even with the spider sitting in the center of the web, which is where you generally see it, um, is it no matter how that wind blows, like you were saying, no matter how that wind blows, the web may shake, but the spider remains anchored to it. So I think that is significant in our ability, uh, as us being like the spider or taking on the spider characteristics, understanding how we weave our destiny, sometimes with our words, and how we shape our being even with our words, the things that we say. And oftentimes, when we're impatient, and when we jump the gun, we actually are counterproductive to our destiny because we are to be spider-like, I guess. Is that correct, Baba, or something?
Um, we should take on those characteristics.
Okay.
Definitely. Right. And so, I think that's part of the reason why, if I use that as an example, right? So we can be mindful of those things.
Ashe.
Because we're not always mindful. We're not always mindful of um, the small things, the little things that it take in order for us to create something strong. Right. So understanding that, embodying that, will help us to make things that that's flexible yet solid and stable. That's
Mm-hmm.
to these other things, right? That allows us a way to communicate freely, right? Because, like you said, when something hits the web, the spider knows exactly where it's at.
Ashe.
It's able to
Yeah.
collect its blessing quickly and to
Yeah.
uh, hold its blessing.
Oh, that's the thing, to be able to hold it. And you do what you need to do in order to do so. So you have the skill set and the abilities to hold your blessings. And if you because it comes from within. Can we say that?
Yes, because that's where the web came from within the spider.
From in the belly. In the belly.
Man, you firing on all cylinders today. So it's true, though, right? It's
Yeah.
true.
It's you.
So the web does come from inside the spider, and so that's a whole nother point, right? It is how we feel on the inside, how we see things, right? What our motives are, what's our makeup. These are the things that will help us to ultimately have our blessing. So the things that we have inside will spew out into the world. It'll touch everything. So our intentions, right? Our character, right? The spider's being the spider. It's living according to its destiny, right? The spider's not trying to drive a car, even though it may sometimes. It may be on the car or in the car.
Mm-hmm.
The spider's not trying to drive the car. The spider's not trying to open the door. It may hang from the door, but it's trying to do those things that is in its destiny to do. And so with each one of us understanding that too, right? If it ain't in your destiny, it's not your destiny. People want to make things a part of the destiny. This tells us that that's not the way to blessing. It's not. So what's inside will come outside and it'll affect the world. Right. So what is it that we have inside of us?
Right. Well, I'll say one thing about a spider. Ain't no begging in it. Spider don't beg.
Nah, it's gonna go out there and get it.
Yeah, it don't scramble around trying to figure out what to do. It knows instinctively what to do. It don't chase per se. You get in that web, you might get caught up, but I consider the spider to be like a master teacher in some sort of way. Excuse me. Like this. You remember the story, Charlotte's Web?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, got the wisdom.
wisdom. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how I see a spider. It's like the embodiment of wisdom. And it to me, spider teaches us how to utilize the resource that we have, the skill sets and abilities that we have to create the life and destiny or in destiny that we want. And we have it already. We have that ability to do it already. It's being able to position ourselves in the right place so that we can carry that thing out that is innately who we are. It is.
Actually,
That's how I see it.
hold that thought 1 second, E5, because Monique have a question.
What Monique say?
Monique says, "What does it mean to dream about a goat?" So it depends on what the goat was doing and whether it was a he goat or a she goat. So the she goat can mean blessing, right? And this is the thing, right? They tend to roam. Remember that E5, we walk around and see goats
Yes.
where like they were dogs and cats. So it just kind of like depends on the context of the dream, Monique. And so, if you'd like to discuss it, you can send me a message and stuff like that. But roughly, right, I would say that there's some offering or sacrifice that needs to be made, right? That goes without saying, but the goat symbolizes blessing. So it just depends on what's the context of the dream. So everything true Ifafumike, everything that spider does is about weaving destiny. You know, um, even right, those are the dream catchers, right? So dream catchers are that mimic the web of the spider.
Yes.
You know, you was on a mountain and three
Three
babies,
baby goats.
and they were nice. One was really playful.
What color was it?
And how many children do you have? Three blessings. There's three blessings coming to you. Remember, I told you the goat symbolizes blessing. So the blessings may take some nurturing, right? So before those things happen, right, they may not come all at once. They may come at different times. But if they baby goats, then I would say that because they need to be hand fed. Baby goats need to eat. If you don't have the mother that they can get the milk from, then they have to be bottle fed. And so this may require some nurturing of your blessings, right? That's me.
You see what Eva told me Walt said.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.